Aloha everybody, Kaiwaza with you. Welcome back to my channel and our journey through my Hawaiian record collection, which we will be continuing today. We are on the letter K, and we're going to wrap up the Hawaiian albums that are in the letter K. First, an update though, an album I just recently got from France. Michel or Michel, I don't know how they would say that. Gesina, Hawaiian Guitar. This is from 1984. Vigson Albums label, never heard of it. And these are not Hawaiian songs, they are popular tunes of the day, and mostly, I guess, known in France, played on the Hawaiian guitar. Nice arrangements, very, very easy listening style. Now we move into the letter K, the end. First up, it's going to wrap up with some albums, slack key. They all happen to be slack key albums here at the end. This one is called Nahe Nahe, which just in Hawaiian means like soft and gentle and sweet, by George Kuo, pictured here. This record is from 1981 on Hula Records. Now, before we go further with the slack key, let me just say something here. I have run across quite often, even people that live here in the islands, some confusion sometimes where people say, you know, what's the difference between slack key and steel guitar? Like, they don't, in their mind or something, maybe they just don't know, or they haven't really seen steel guitar very much. So I will say very briefly here, in case you don't know, slack key guitar is a normal Spanish type guitar like what you see here, which was introduced by the Paniolos, or Spaniards, Mexicans, whatever, that came to Hawaii to work on the cattle ranches, and Hawaiians didn't know how to play it necessarily because they didn't have this, and when they took it, they just tuned it however. There was no set tuning to it. They just tuned it however they wanted to and started playing things. And so that became known as slack key. No particular key, no particular tuning, and developed its own style here in the islands. Now, later on, this guitar would be put on a lap, and there's many different stories, Joseph K. Kuku, there's different stories of who did this, but somebody initially ran, like, different stories again, like a nail, or a knife, or a piece of glass, or something, up and down, realized if they went up and down the frets, or whatever you call it, that it produced sort of a sliding, unique kind of sound that they liked, and people started picking that up and doing that. That is what we call steel guitar, because it's a steel bar now that you would use to slide up and down the frets, and usually it's flat on your lap. And then they also make them, steel guitars, electric ones that look different than that, but you can take an acoustic guitar and do this, raise something on the frets and use a bar, and it's like acoustic Hawaiian steel guitar. That's the difference. Nowadays, I think, you know, slack key is a lot more common, and people know this sound now. Back in the day, when I was younger, Hawaiian steel guitar was the sound of Hawaii. I mean, if you heard the steel guitar, no matter where in the world you were, that was like Hawaii. They could be playing Danny Boy or, you know, Wild Irish Rose or something, but if it was on a steel guitar, you were like, Hawaii. Okay, more slack key. Leonard Kwan and his slack key guitar, from Tradewinds Records, kind of a famous record kicked off a good career for him. All instrumental album, this one. Can't see any. And then a couple of follow-ups to that were featuring Leonard Kwan. Party Songs Hawaiian Style, Volume 1. Amazing. Love the cover art, right? This is, I don't have a date on this, but early 60s sometime, probably mid-60s. Hawaiian Records, I think, started in 1960s, so... Yeah. The label, I won't show all the labels that are on Hawaiian because she never changed the labels on Hawaiian. They're always the same. What you see there, all of them are the same. This one also features some vocalists on some of the numbers, so it's not purely an instrumental record. You can see the artist credited there, Bob Davis, Kamaha'o Trio. And there's a follow-up, Volume 2 to that. Party Songs Hawaiian Style, Volume 2, in the head cover. This one also, same deal, not a mix featuring Leonard Kwan, but also featuring a slack key guitarist named Raymond Kane, who would become quite well known also a bit later on. And then we also have the vocalists featured on this album as well. I particularly on this album like the song Hawaiian Reverie, which is not a commonly heard song, and this also is unusual because the singer, Nohelani, is actually singing the harmony part and the slack key guitarist is playing the lead part, so it's different. Okay, and finally, in the letter K, Hawaiian Records, it's also Leonard Kwan, Hawaiian Records, a bit later, The Old Way. Kind of a rare picture of Leonard Kwan. There don't seem to be a lot of pictures of him floating around. And this is a gatefold. You will find on some of the slack key recordings, frequently, even more contemporary ones, will feature the music, they'll feature tablature and some of the how to actually play it. And that's going to wrap up the letter K in Hawaiian. We're not going to start Exotica because that's long enough for one video. So we'll stop there and pick up with Exotica letters, or Exotica records that start with the letter K in the next video. Thanks.